The constituency of Digomartin Northeast is nestled in the foothills of the Northern Range. It is home to a diverse mix of people who have all made significant contributions to the social, cultural, political, and economic landscape of Trinidad and Tobago. From the lush greens of the St. Andrews Golf Course to the fertile hills of Paramin, all the way down to the iconic Church of the Assumption on Long Circular Road, the people of this constituency continually strive for the betterment and development of their community. One such individual is Garvin Nicholas, a man who was born and raised in the constituency.
I was born in the village of Pockasay in Marval. I'm the middle child of three. I have two sisters. It's very difficult to talk about myself.
Pockasay is one of the many villages that make up the tight-knit Upper Marval village community. And it is here the story of Garvin Nicholas, the man on the ground, begins.
What I enjoyed about actually living in Marval, and especially living in Pockasay, is that it was the entire village was like my family. So that unlike today, where youths could get away with passing people on the street without saying good morning or good afternoon. The minute I made that mistake, my parents would know about it even before I got home. I remember fondly coming home after school to play small goal in what we call the grounds, which is essentially a empty piece of land in the village that we would utilize for either small goal or for cricket. And that used to be the afternoon pastime. Then, of course, there were other activities that took place in the Marval Recreation Ground, known as the Pascal Recreation Ground. We actually had a football team called Icebergs, and that team used to play sort of an inter-constituency type football. So we used to travel all over the place, whether it be in Pity Valley or in Bellevue, Bonjour, those sorts of areas, Saddle Hill, and we always had a game on, and that for me was fun.
The Marval community not only provided a place for recreation for Mr. Nicholas, as it was in this very same community he received most of his early education.
Well, I actually started my primary school education in Marval, and then I went on to Rosary Boys RC. I came back to school in Marval because I went to school at Trinity College, which is in Mocha. And many afternoons after school, I would walk from school, walk through the village, interact with the fellas in the village, because I knew them, they were my friends. And I knew them from playing football, I knew them from walking and meeting them on an afternoon. And I have come to know the entire village, not only through that, but also because of my family links. My grandparents are rooted in the Marval community, from Paramin to Saddle Hill to Moraldo Street to Celestine Trace to Pockasay and beyond, even in the Saiva. So that it's very difficult for me not to feel at home in this constituency. And it is the reason why I've always wanted to do good for this constituency. After I finished my secondary school education, I actually wanted to work, because I always dreamt of studying abroad. And my parents weren't wealthy, and they couldn't afford to send me. So I decided I would work. And I started working in insurance, which I did for a couple of years. And then I decided I would become an entrepreneur. And I opened a little plant shop. Then I went and I started a vegetable shop. And then it branched off into a fast food restaurant. Unfortunately, in 1990, when we had the coup attempt, I went on that Friday afternoon. I was pretty much in charge of my destiny. I had a lot of money invested in my businesses. And I went home Friday evening with probably feeling like a millionaire. And by Saturday morning, I was a pauper. because they had completely looted everything that I had worked for, and I had to start over. It took me a little while to recover, but I started over because again, it was inculcated in me the drive of working hard for what you wanted. I started back, and eventually I was able to go to the United Kingdom, where I studied law, graduated with an upper second class law degree from Oxford Brookes University, and then I went and I was accepted to do my bar studies at the Inns of Court School of Law in London, which I did quite well in, and was called to the bar in the UK at the Inner Temple. And then I came back to Trinidad and did my in-service training, and was later called to the bar here. And then I became an attorney at law.